big television show where we litigate whether Ivy League schools mascots are good or not.
It's nothing to litigate. The answer is no. Harvard is the Crimson. No. Brown is the Bears. Cornell's the Big Red. Dartmouth's the Big Green. Like, what
Yale
are we
is the
here?
Bulldogs.
And Bulldogs
How'd you come up with that
like,
one, boys?
They're designed to die. They can't even procreate.
Yes, that's true.
They're like
really
fake
bad.
living things anyway.
Be a turtle or a weather event.
The only way to save this is to let the Louisiana Raging Cajuns into the Ivy League.
Oh, now we're talking. Now we're talking.
Starts today.
I mean, I have to admit, being a weather event is pretty cool. A very scary weather event. I kind of like it.
I also feel like if you add Raging in front of anything, it gets better.
Or worse.
Honestly. Well, yeah, worse. Worse is also definitely on the table. Alabaster, many things are happening in America today, but I'm glad to be here with you guys where we can find a distraction from crumbling American institutions by talking about the Knicks.
That's right.
Oh,
That's right. We're going to start. We're going to start
man.
today with the NBA draft where hope springs eternal. And my question for you all is, what are your thoughts on how the NBA draft shook out last night?
Did anybody here bet on the draft? What?
So
what?
Did you write that beforehand, or did you just come up with? Okay, so you were like,
No,
I'm gonna get him today with this one because the world's falling apart.
It's the promoted tweet for this episode right now. So you know,
well,
hand up, pre-writing the joke.
Sorry, Charlie. No, nothing's wrong with it. I just was wondering because I like to imagine you sitting there like, man, I'm gonna kill him with this one. All right,
Kevin
Charlie.
Clark's like, are these guys really gonna go on a digression about the Supreme Court right now? No, we are not.
I'm just looking
Kevin
for the
Clark.
Twitter link.
We're not. Very good. I actually wanted to start with Kevin because I believe the answer to the question I wanted to ask is no. None of us bet on the draft, and if you did, you probably lost a ton of money because Paolo Banchero went number 1 to Kevin Clark's Orlando Magic. Dominique, it is rare to have an emissary from the Orlando Magic in the MSM anywhere, but we have it today here exclusively. So Kevin Clark, the floor is yours.
I'm calling for an ISO here. Clear out.
Oh, wow.
Congratulations to the Orlando Magic for successfully running a smoke screen for the first overall pick. Believe that's a first. You got me, you got us, you got Woj.
Yep.
You got Woj. Congratulations.
Everybody.
You got Woj. I guess I have a couple of questions. The first one is why you didn't work out the guy you took with the first overall pick. The cope here, and I've heard a couple of things about it, is that they didn't work out Jonathan Isaac or Jalen Suggs either. Is that supposed to make me feel better? They zoomed with them. They zoomed with them.
Oh, wait.
And we know
I didn't know that part.
They
That's
zoomed
important.
with them. And I will say, if we've learned anything over the last 2 years, it's that Zoom is very productive and everything gets done on Zoom.
Clearly.
Everybody gets locked in. There are 3 reasons, I think, to run a smoke screen. The first is if you wanted a trade package, you wanted to ratchet up some hype for one of the Rockets or Thunder to panic and say, we got a Godfather offer the Magic for the first overall pick. That never came, and there's not a lot of evidence that they even tried to do that, to try to execute that. The second is that they like the lack of leaks, that they like the mystique, and they wanted to keep people guessing. Again, that comes at the expense of doing due diligence on the first
Magic.
overall pick.
The Magic, Kevin Clark. People are saying, many are saying the Magic not magical enough. So this does help address that issue. Yeah.
And the third option is that they do not know what they're doing. And as someone who has watched 20, 32, 33 years of Orlando Magic basketball,
Jesus. I didn't even think that was possible.
I'm leaning heavily towards number 3. Now, I think that Banchero can win Rookie of the Year. I think he might be the best player in the draft. A lot of GMs think so, but I'm sitting here today, and the only thing we can judge, Fox, we were talking about this before we started here. The only thing you can judge is the maneuvering and the way you approach the draft process, and that's why I'm discouraged. There's no reason to not do all of the homework you can possibly do. You're the Orlando Magic.
Well,
okay?
I'm sorry. I want to give you your space. Are you done, or is there more?
I mean, I'm never really done. But this point has been made.
I feel like you should have been done like 15 years ago, honestly. But Dominique, I believe your turn. Yeah.
The fourth reason that you didn't bring up is They care about us. They love entertainment.
The
That
Orlando
is the
Magic
fourth reason.
do not entertain or make anything more fun.
They're
off the
turning
board.
over a new they're turning on a new leaf. They are
Yep.
because it was more fun. We enjoyed. I mean, our colleague Woj has got like a 99% hit rate, but for a few minutes last night he was wrong, and it was pretty fun. And like big surprise is fun. That's theater. So that's what they're doing. As someone who's not a fan of the Magic, I don't care that they're sloppy and disorganized and maybe confused and may not have any reason for why they did it. It was fun for me to be like, it's either going to be Holmgren or it's going to be Smith. What? I enjoyed it personally. So thank you, Orlando Magic. And as far as like, they should do their homework on all of the people that are in the draft, that makes sense. But why do your homework, spoken as a true athlete, when everyone else has already done it?
Okay.
Why do your homework when the other smarter kids can do it for you? And they can just go on Wikipedia and copy off of that.
How do you get to them being smarter? Somehow, I got the same grade by doing no work. I think I'm the smarter kid. So if there's a whole industry built up around getting all this information, and they decided to draft the person that the industry told them to draft, because by and large, Paolo Banchero was considered, even though he wasn't projected to be number one, he was considered the best player in this draft.
NBA ready, rookie of the year, favorite, all of these sort of like backhanded compliments.
In defense of the Magic, good job. Don't do your homework. If the nerds are going to do it for you, you can just peek over at their mock draft.
But hold on, Kevin, I feel like Dominique.
He's so angry. He's not enjoying the show at all.
No, I just
Dominique's defense.
First of all, what you're calling for is what happened, which is this is the first ever pick, first overall pick that was based entirely upon the "he got the dog in him" meme. That's all it was. That's all this was.
Yeah, the X-ray displays the dog inside of
and you're saying the payoff for this whole thing is the Magic won the lottery for the first time since 2004. They've been in the wilderness. They were one pick off from a handful of superstars. Okay? Look, go through it. It is ugly. It's the exact opposite of the Kings, who pick one before, which is even worse. But one pick before, the Magic's lottery picks have tended to be franchise-changing superstars. But what you're saying the payoff was an Ashton Kutcher-style prank on Woj.
Oh, so you try to tell me Ashton ain't put out hits? I mean, that show was great. Ooh, arf, arf.
Yeah,
that dog. It's got to be a better dog.
I just like how we have finally. By the way, Dominique's sort of defense of the Magic is also the great indictment. It's like, not nerds running your team then, I guess. Like, you don't have the kids doing all the homework, doing the job where you're supposed to do all of the homework. Unlike, I should point out, the New York Knicks, the very diligent. Can we get to them now? Kevin, are you working through? Are we good to move through? Because what the Knicks have done here, and I'm not even like, I'm so glad I'm no longer like invested in this team emotionally. I am not the Kevin Clark of the New York Knicks. I have no emotional attachment in this way. As a Sixers fan, I have moved on to even more traumatic pastures. But what the Knicks did last night is so funny to me. It's so funny to me because what they're being hailed at in terms of like relative marginal doses of enlightenment, forward thinkingness, is merely trying to radically undo everything they did last year. And they're doing it by saying, you know what? We could wait for all of these big contracts, right? Kemba Walker, Evan Fournier, Alec Burks, to sort of get to the next last year of their deal, at which point they become actual assets that teams would love to have. Instead, they're saying, what if we just start giving all of them away, attaching draft picks to them in order to sign to a max contract Jalen Brunson? Yeah. And that part, the treating of Jalen Brunson like Kevin Durant. Dominique, did you know that they're hiring Rick Brunson, former Knicks point guard, this dude's dad, Jalen's dad, to be an assistant? Like, all of this, 3 weeks ago they did that. All of this is endlessly funny to me.
So you can have good results with a bad process. You can have bad results with a good process. I think while we all like to say cute things like process over results, all we actually really want is, I don't want somebody praising my process. I want a big damn trophy or a pile of damn money, which Jalen Brunson may get. I
Oh, he
don't think
will.
they're going to get the big damn trophy, which is the problem. And the Knicks fans, I know, Pablo, you say that you essentially are no longer a Knicks fan, but I know you well enough to know, let them get hot. Let them make the playoffs. And then you're going to put your shirt back on immediately. But fortunately, they ain't going to do that anytime soon. And it's so sad because it was just a year ago, right? That we were praising all the new
Yes.
leadership and we were so excited. Look what
The
they made
ceiling
out of
is
Julius
higher.
Randle. They're doing so much. They only got beat by the Hawks in the playoffs. They are on the rocket ship to the moon. And now they're in the same or worse place than they were before they brought in all this new management that is well connected with all the players that they have not gotten yet.
Thing. Yeah. The Jalen Brunson thing, Kevin. I don't know how you guys feel about when former agents come GMs.
Yeah.
Like sometimes it works out, right? Bob Myers, GM of the Warriors, was an agent. Rob Pelinka was an agent. Not so much working out over there. Leon Rose is
Championship.
somewhere. Yeah, but I think you would find a hard time.
Yeah.
You
Giving
know,
the credit to Bob.
identifying
Yeah.
exactly Rob Pelinka as the guy who's responsible for it. Leon Rose, formerly of CAA, big agent, Jalen
Power
Brunson's
broker.
agent, is now running the Knicks. And there has been an open question. Is he good at this? And so far, to me, the answer is no.
He's bringing in a bunch of guys he knows. Like that's the sign of
Thibodeau, also a former client. Yep.
a bunch of CAA people he has connections with. Like this isn't, he's running the Knicks like Entourage or something. Like he's just getting his buddies in and just saying like, all right, let's bring this in close. And that's not how you build. Like, what are the chances that the 15 best players that Leon Rose can identify all happen to be his friends like 2 years ago? Like what are the odds? What a coincidence that happens to be. And you know, he's been very close with Rick Brunson for decades. And the idea that he's
Yes.
clearing cap space with for Jalen Brunson, who he represented and all that, like that is, I think I heard Brian Windhorst say that probably, you know, Leon Rose probably held Jalen Brunson within the first couple months of his birth, okay? And that's what they're clearing cap space for at this point. And
So you're saying that Leon Rose brought in Jalen Brunson for his very first workout.
that's right. Yeah.
So if they don't work him out, well, I guess there will not be free agent workouts. But if there's no meeting, there's no
should.
Zoom between them, I think we'll be all right. Leon Rose knows him pretty well. But
Yeah.
I do